Hello and welcome to the Astroflower, and this is going to be a reading for the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April, and it's going to be leading into the monthly reading. So basically, if you don't know anything about eclipses, basically it's when the moment, obviously, when the moon goes in front of the sun, and it's in the perfect position where you can have a full eclipse or partial eclipse and stuff like that. And what we got coming up on the 30th of April during Taurus season is a partial eclipse, and it's going to be in the Antarctic region and in South America. So going up and touching basically the root chakra. So it appears to be sort of like, playing on anything that's connected to your roots. And usually when eclipse happens, so magnetically what happens is it acts a little bit like a focal lens for the Earth. So it creates this magnetic pull even more towards the sun, which is going to pull the Earth's energy and make it a little bit more sort of accentuated across the board and heighten those elements that are within all of our flowers. So our astro flowers, that is. So it makes this, it pulls it like a magnet, if you like. And in so many cultures, it's been tied into auspicious occasions. People sort of prophesize with it and etc. Certainly, people see it as a changing moment between two periods. But this year is a little bit special. It's quite nice. It's quite interesting. First things first, we have that partial eclipse on the 30th of April, which is in the Taurus season, and we'll be going into the elements a little bit on that. And also, there is just after that, on May the 15th, I think it is, or the 16th actually, is a total lunar eclipse, which is from the blood moon as well, the fire moon, as it were, the blood moon, the red moon, which is coming up also in Taurus season. Then we have another eclipse, and this time it's total eclipse, and it's up in the region of Russia. You're going to be able to see it also if you're in Eastern Europe and Northern Eastern Europe, and also in the UK. You should be able to see part of it. Please go and check out on the internet exactly just sort of where you are. I don't have the maps at hand, but yeah, it roughly goes into there. But that's funny enough because that's on the 25th of October, so that's in Scorpio season. Now, if you know anything about the Astroflower, if you don't, go down in the links below. You can discover a lot about the Astroflower, about the petals, about the elements, and about the qualities, and how it all sort of works together as a tool to help you develop your life. It's a personal development tool, basically, and that could be within your business, and that could be within emotions and relationships and work you need to do in your lives. We've all got a bit of work to do at some point. So so the next total eclipse is on the 25th of October. So that's in Scorpio season. So let's just have a look at those two flowers there. Now they're opposite one another within the the astrology sort of ring, as it were. And they're opposite each other. They're both fixed signs. But the funny thing is Taurus is 2/3 earth and 1/3 fire, whereas Scorpio is 2/3 water and 1/3 air. And when you can see this between these two signs here, where you have air, well, there on the lower parts of the petals in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Scorpio, you have fire in 1, 2, 3, 4 in Taurus, and where you have the earth, you have water in Taurus. So Scorpio and Taurus are very, very connected between these two signs. They do actually they're very complementary. And when you look at them as lovers, and when you invert the flowers upon one another, they do work really well. So, and the most interesting thing here is probably that earth, that air and fire. And what we can see is at the surface is the cardinal fire that comes in through Taurus, that comes from Aries, and the cardinal air that comes up through Scorpio, which comes from Libra. They're going in either sense to one another, and they sort of, one is a provocation from the exterior, that's Taurus, in the way of passions and etc. And then it's provoking ideas and mental stimulation, which comes up through Scorpio. So basically, on this partial eclipse, and it's to do with the root, and I would have thought it's going to be the lower petals that are going to be affected the most, you may get a situation where the passion of the eclipse that is coming up on the 30th of April is just like the starting gun. So it's like the first domino that falls before we can get to the whole big dominoes that actually do fall. And because we get from a partial to a total, and we have those lunar eclipses as well, the one on the May the 17th and November the 5th as well, just after the other one, it's like it's a beginning and an end date. So this, between the 30th of April going right through to the 5th of November, it's going to be interesting what sort of things are sort of instigated during this eclipse and how they follow all the way through to the eclipse that are coming up in October and the eclipse in November, which will be the finality of it all. Okay, so Scorpio used to be back in the days of Babylon and etc. Scorpio was actually a weighing machine. So you had the two claws of Scorpio, and you'd hold it by the tail, and you can weigh goods and what have you on it. So it's a little bit about judgment, and Scorpio and Libra were certainly signs that were made after we changed from a 10 to a 12-month period, and they were taken out of Virgo and Sagittarius. So it is a little bit about sort of judgment in a way. And Scorpios have certainly, they're very concerned with sort of human rights and that sort of things. So that could well have something to do with it on a global sort of sense. We did do world readings on what we were calling the Taurus event, and this could well be it. Although I was, inclined more to the May the 12th, this could well be the time when it actually sort of happens. So the moon with its 28-day cycle is just a reflection of the sun, because the sun's most perfect rotation section is 28.5 days. It's an average of 30.5 days. Now, once you take into the North Pole and the equator, which gives us our 30 days and 31 days of the Gregorian calendar. So, and that's why February is 28 days to respect the moon. And that comes with Aquarius, the human side, the washing away. Now, I did mention this in Cymatic TV as well, and you may want to go and see that when I did an energy update. And I was talking about a tsunami of water, like emotions that's going to be coming through. So you might want to go and have a look at that as well on our sister channel. So without further ado, let's get on with your reading, shall we, for this eclipse. And as I said, we'll be reading the eclipse reading from tarot cards, doing a full flower. And then there's a separate video coming out where you will be getting the monthly readings. So, because obviously it starts off with eclipse May, it sort of finishes April on the eclipse, and it's starting off May from that eclipse. So we're going to be going from one to the other. I will be separating this into two videos, which you will be able to get the link for the second one, which is the monthly one, where we will be at the end pulling 6 cards to just see what that 6-month period is between those two eclipses. So if you're ready, strap in. This is going to be a bit of a journey. And don't forget, this may not resonate for everybody. This is obviously a general reading, so please take it as it resonates with you. Certainly with the eclipse one, it's not personal. It's more of a guidance more than anything else. So Leo, let's have a look at the eclipse here and see what this initiating eclipse is going to do, and how it sort of connects with you, and what sort of things it's going to throw up into your life at the moment. It's going to be initiator, and I think it's going to be across the thing. We did do a world reading. I'm going to have a look at that and see what you think on that. There's a lot of wands coming out. It's definitely within your within your spectrum, Leo. This is really quite good, actually. It seems like the calling is definitely for you. Oh, there was 2 cards. I'm going to take that there and there. Ace of Swords. Wow. Leo. So, spiritual side, emotional sort of side, and sort of relationships. This is sort of financial and stuff like that. And this is the energy that's going through you at the moment, or going through you from this eclipse. So let's see how it's going to be affecting you. On your flower, you do have a lot of fire and earth, mainly on this sort of side, which is the opposite of your friend Taurus, who is also a fixed sign, which is the season that we're actually in. And yeah, they're definitely, it looks like it's creating like a start of a journey for you more than anything else. And it's like a calling in a way. As the eclipse comes in, it's going to provoke a lot of things within society. You've actually come off a lot better than most others, because there has been a lot of these sort of swords here that we can see here at the base, which you've got the 9 of Swords, which may cause you a lot of financial worries and sleepless nights and stuff like that. And you've got to go through that, and because it's not your problem. This is what it seems to be saying through all of the readings so far. It seems to be something that's coming from the outside. And this is what the eclipse is about, of how you interact with it. With this first eclipse in the end of April and the second one in the 25th of October. We will be pulling some cards at the end of your monthly reading, which is coming straight up after this. There will be links in the description below. If you're new to this channel, lovely to have you here. Please do subscribe and click that bell, become part of the family, the Astroflower family. We're discovering loads of stuff here, and also on Instagram. Yeah. Okay. So let's take, let's take the emotional sort of side of it all. So you're being called. Obviously, this shock is gonna make you realize that actually around you, or the world around you, is putting forward this initiation that's going to create the idea that's going to provoke ideas within you. So that's what it seems to be like, where with this eclipse down in the root, so it's this sort of section down here really more than anything else, and it's going to be making you look at the world a little bit differently around you. And as you do look at the world differently, it's going to ask you to change the way you passionately get involved emotionally in the world around you. And it's with that Ace of Wands that comes in, it's the starting of a new journey. And this is your karmic path to actually seize the day, seize that baton and move on. And the funny thing is you've got the Ace of Swords at the top of it as well. So that's sort of pushing it through, and that's where your direction should be going. There is a lot of, with this new changing stuff as it comes through in this new paradigm that we're going into, which I've gone into on Cymatic TV. If you haven't been there, go and have a look at the description. There's links to that, where we do the energy updates and stuff like that. And I talked about this tsunami of, or this tidal bore, as it were, of emotions, of water coming through the system. And it's going to make you, you're going to have to prepare a little bit. It's going to make you sort of say, okay, if this is the new paradigm, if this is the new situation, this is how I am going to have my interaction with the rest of the world. This is how I'm going to have the interaction through my emotions, through my relationships, through my pleasures and joys and stuff like that. And you've got the Page of Pentacles there, which is all about, she's got that one pentacle there, and there is pentacles at her feet that you might be able to see. And the Page of Pentacles is all about starting a journey of understanding about the long-term goals in life. So on the emotional front and on the relationship front, these changes that the provoking by the solar eclipse may push you onto longer-term plans with the world around you, with your own sort of passions in life, and how you put that into place. And you're going to be initiator of this within you. It seems like you're going to seize the day. And that's what it seems like within the emotional sort of front. And it is going to demand you to sort of plan differently to what you've done before. Okay, let's have a look on the financial sort of side. As I said, you've got the nice Nine of Swords, and everybody's had the Nine of Swords so far. There's also been the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Swords. We'll see if that comes out in your monthly reading as well. Because this is just the initiator that's sort of coming through with the eclipse. And it's may make you worry about financial success or financial sort of situation in the world around you, rather than necessarily your financial situation. It's more a case of what is going on around you. That's what seems to be causing you the angst and the worries. But next to it, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So you've got two nines down the bottom. And if anybody knows anything about numbers, 9 is basically the kingpin. It's the ultimate number. 9 you've got, so if you do 9 times 2 is 18, that's 1 and 8, which is 9. 9 times 3 is 27, which is 2 and 7, which is 9. So it's always 9. It's always 9. It's always 9. You know, there's another thing, which is the matrix mathematics, which you can go into. I'll explain that in another day. Maybe over on Somatic TV I'll explain that. But this is all about sort of initiation and taking the initiative. Initiation, taking the initiative of pushing it forward and actually seizing that day. And you've got that Knight of Wands as well that goes along with it, which is going to help you to drive those passions on a rhythmical fashion as you go forward and taking on the charge into the world. And it's going to provide you with a lot of choices as you go forward on your financial or your business or your jobs. As the world changes around you, it means the job may change, or you may even change your job, or you may even change your business, or you may start a business and stuff like that. It seems to be an initiation which seems to be coming through you. And I think you're actually going to really enjoy this, Leo, this eclipse. It's certainly one of the better readings that I've seen so far. And then you finally got the Ace of Swords. So that's all about sort of victory, sort of, as the French would say, slicing through life. So, and, that's all to do with the yin yang, the slicing of the brain, as it were. So you've got the hemispheres, the two hemispheres. And the Ace of Swords is all about sort of taking the judgment and going on and seizing the day and making a lot of, making things work, getting victories out of the world. And it seems to be offering from the universe. So it seems to come from this eclipse. So the ultimate thing that the eclipse is going to be offering you is the victory for going on and going forward. Oh, blimey, hang on a second. Let's just sort of so that's the initiation of the solar eclipse. Let's go into your monthly reading. Sorry, I have actually got the pack upside down. So you got this. How about that? 7 of Swords and the 7 of Wands. So you got 2 9s on that. This is going to be your monthly reading. So if you want to see the monthly reading, it is in the description below. Subscribe and click that bell. Join the family. So then you get all the notifications for the future readings coming up. So if you want to see the monthly reading, so this is the first week. If you want to see the monthly reading, get down to that description or get down to the comments and you'll see it down there.